Hey guys, we are live. Let me just get the pop on here for the color, and we will get everything up and rolling here. Let me just get this off here now. There we go, and live chat's up. Hey guys, good evening. Merry Christmas. I'm feeling better tonight. That's a good thing. Let's see. Expired passport bro says, Steve, haven't seen you around the traps in a while. I'm not sure who this is. Sinfuls is on board. He says, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to all. Good evening and good day. See who else we got on here. We got 4 people on here already. Usually it pops up pretty fast. But I don't have my cough tonight. Not like last week. I have a slight cough just from the pollution around here from riding around today. But my cough is pretty much gone, so that's good. And I got 4 videos ahead this week, which is really, really good. That's usually I'm behind all the time. And I got some good videos coming up pretty soon. I've been taking some videos that I've wanted to do for people, articles that I have read, and I made like a commentary on them. And some of them are quite interesting. Some of them might not be for some people. Some of them are. One of them I got to redo again. I wasn't happy the way that it come out. I'm reading, and I'm a terrible reader when I'm reading on camera. So, but the rest of them come out pretty decent. I was happy with them. So we got about 4 or 5 videos coming up. One of them actually was talking about the pollution here, which is quite interesting because a lot of people are complaining about the pollution and coming up with permanent coughs from the pollution here. Sep315, hey Stevie, greetings from Germany. How you doing, Sep315? Welcome aboard. We're up to 24 people and 3 thumbs up already. Everybody must be home on vacation because usually we don't have 24 in a minute and a half or 2 minutes, but we're moving up, so that's good. Let's see, Joe Cunningham is on board. Good evening from Pennsylvania. You look and sound better. I feel better. And actually, my back is still in pain in the morning, but I've been doing better in the afternoons, which is good. So I'm actually getting some relief in the afternoons, so that's a good thing. I usually have like 2 or 3 hours of pain in the morning now. So a lot of people have been asking me about that, and I'm feeling better. Felix Egbesi says, hello from New Jersey. Sep315 says, fresh haircut, just the other day. So Sinful says, going for a long motorcycle ride tomorrow with some Filipino guys. Sounds cool, man. Unfortunately, I don't have a motorcycle, but I won't ride a bike. So John Morse, hi from Barilli. Okay, Sinful says, haha. Yep, me too, fresh haircut. I figured I'd get one for Christmas. I needed a fresh haircut, so that's good. So if you guys want to shoot some questions out tonight, sky's the limit. We actually dropped about 4 people. I'm not sure why. I think we had some new people coming in here. And when you catch the beginning, we're not talking about anything really, in depth that much. But if you guys want to start getting into any questions or anything, we can talk about anything tonight except politics. Beth, greetings from Switzerland. Welcome aboard, Beth. Good to have you on here. Let's see, Sep315, Gruzy Beth, whatever that means. I'm not sure. Maybe he can translate that for us. Bob Phillips, hello, Steve. What do you think are the most important things to preparing to move to the Philippines? Bob, I would say have a whiteboard like I got up back here. I have it flipped around because I have personal stuff on there, but I would say that the most important thing to do is to just have everything in order written up on that board as you come up with ideas of what things you need. And watch, I did a thing with Justin a while back about getting ready and everything, preparing a list. That list pretty much covers everything, and it tells you what to get ready. Your passport, obviously, your plane tickets, your luggage, it covers everything. What to get prepped for to come over here. So if you go back to that video, it's got a picture of me and Justin on the front. Look for that one, and it gives you the list, and you can pretty much go off of that one and just have a piece of paper ready and write down off of that. Bob Phillips says, hello, Steve. What do you think? Let's see. We just did that one. Joe Cunningham says, watch your video a minute ago. Can you get cash back from ATM? The ATMs around here, for the most part, have been either down or flooded with people, and it's like this all year long around here. Sometimes it's kind of sad that you usually have to wait in a line of either 6 or more. Usually is the usual around Tracy, and at some times, if you get there in the mornings, usually you can get up there maybe in 2 or 3 people, but it's been rough because the machines are all half either broken or empty. Mike Dempsey says, Merry Christmas from Chicago. Merry Christmas, Mike. Let's see, we got another Mike up there too, Mike Miller from up in your area. Sinfuls, Joe Cunningham, I do from USAA. John Morse, pollution is awful in Cebu. I always get sore throat. We got the same problem here if you go in the city, but where I live, I don't get that much pollution unless they're lighting fires or burning trash or burning weeds or something down below. Let's see. Joe Cunningham says, can you find USAA everywhere? I'm not sure. Let's see. I'm not really familiar with that. Joe, Sinfuls might be up on that. I know I'm a little bit familiar with it, but not that familiar. I don't think there's USA around here. Sinful says, happy where I live. I have a clean air, nice and green. Where Sinfuls lives, there's a lot of fresh air and fields, and there's not much car pollution, which is kind of nice. Beth says, hello, SEP315. Sinful says, Joe Cunningham, well, they rebate ATM fees. I use China Bank mostly. Oh, that's what you're talking about when you're talking about rebates. Oh, okay, I got you, Joe. All right, yes, my credit union does rebate me. I'm a member of Metro Credit Union. You can also do State Department Federal Credit Union, and I believe they'd reimburse too, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. I know Metro does in Chelsea, Massachusetts. They reimburse you every time any fees that you pay, you get reimbursed, so it's pretty good. Let's see, Sinful says, I can stay in Manila long. I can't stay in Manila long. I get respiratory issues. That's a problem with a lot of people here is the respiratory issues. And I did a video about that. We're gonna be talking about that probably on the 27th, I think it is. We got a good video coming out about that. And don't think that because you go out to the country that you're always gonna get away from it. Because I went up to Subic, and while I was up in Subic, okay, they were burning stuff out in the fields. And it was blowing across, and you could even smell it in the vehicle that we were riding a little bit, not much, but you could smell it a little bit. I was getting like a burning smell, but that pollution travels all along the land down there, and it pollutes the air all around there. You would think in the mountains, because right near Subic there's a lot of mountains, and it's just not good. Let's see, we're up to 33, 7 thumbs up. Let's get some more thumbs up on there, guys, so we can get this pushing. Maybe we'll get some more people on here. Let's get some more questions on here too. Let's see, Joe says, Claritin might help with allergies. Can you get Claritin over there? You can get some allergy medicines over here, like Benadryl. There's a bunch of other ones too. And some of them work. It's not the allergies, it's the smoke. Although I do get rhinitis, which is like an allergy. I get it in the morning sometimes. I haven't had it for the past week, though, which is really good. Mr. Big Slick 66, Christmas greetings from Little Roadie, Steve. There we go. It's a guy from back home. How you doing, Mr. Big Slick? Let's see, Timmy says, the sick grandpa won't let up. You should berate him. He would likely respect some return for. I don't even bother with that guy. I've made some subtle hints about him, but I don't want to get the guy started, number one, because the guy's just a jerk. I just leave him alone. It's for the best. I left a little comment over there. I'd have a battle of wits with him, but I don't want to fight an unarmed man. And that's what you're fighting there. When you're dealing with somebody like that, that guy's got some serious issues. Sinful says there is a similar drug like Claritin. I can't remember the name. Yeah, there is. There's a couple of drugs like that, actually. There's more than one Sinfuls. Joe Cunningham, expats having a Christmas party. We did. We did, Joe. We had one at TGI Fridays. Actually, we had quite a few people, 39, I think it was. And the party that we had around Thanksgiving, we had about, I want to say we had 50. I thought we said we had 50. I could be wrong. We had a lot of people for that one. We've been doing really good on the parties, actually, the get-togethers and stuff like that. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to keep those going. I want to try to keep them going as long as I can. We'll see how that goes. If we keep getting the regular showings that we have, I'm going to keep it going. And it seems to be growing little by little, and we're getting a lot more memberships and stuff. But people come and go. They come maybe once every 3 months or something like that. And some people, we have a lot of regulars too. We've been doing pretty good. I think Sinfuls would agree, because Sinfuls is a regular there. And it's fun. We have a lot of fun there, But let's get some more questions popping up on here for you guys. So we're up to 35, 18 thumbs up. Thanks for the thumbs up, guys. So, but to get back to the pollution thing, if your houses are more spread out and the roads are less traveled, you're going to get a lot less pollution if they don't burn stuff. If you have a lot of condos or houses, they don't do burning. They just chop it down. But if you're out in the provinces, they tend to burn everything because it's just quick and easy. You just flick a match or throw some gasoline down, light it on fire, and poof, the whole field is gone, you know? Let's see. Sinful says, citrazine is allergy meds. Yes. It's similar to like Benadryl. I think I had that citrazine. I had something similar to that. Hydroxyzine. Sinfuls. Hydroxyzine. I think that's the one you're talking about. I have hydroxyzine. It's very similar to cetrazine. That's, yeah, it is a good allergy medicine. So, but let's get some more questions popping up in here. And I got, as you guys can see, I got one of my cards. I actually ordered another one. I ordered 2 of these cards here of Honus Wagner, and I'm waiting for the other one to come. I collect the Honus Wagner cards. I just like the picture on them, and I'll show you one of them here. I got this one here. It's got the different back. This is an old looks like an old print because I've never seen a reprint with the use it on the back. So it's kind of interesting, you know. Let's see. Sinful says, LOL, karaoke. Let's see. Who else we got on here tonight? We got 41, 20 thumbs up. Thank you, guys. Yeah, let's get some more talk on here. Some more chat. Some, but I want to show those cards because I got another one coming. And it's a repro card of the just like the one up here. And this one here is probably a repro. If it's a real one, it's worth a lot of money. But it's you know, I'm not going to send it out to get a grade and spend the money because the chances are, for sure, it's not real. They only have about 60 or 80 of them throughout the world. All Gold says, what percentage of expats in your neighborhood are from U.S., Australia, U.K., and Europe? Well, okay. Europe, we got one. Just about everybody else is from the U.S. We have one guy from Africa here. We don't see him too much. And we have Daz, who's from Rhodesia down, but he runs a gym here, and Tracy runs Titans Fitness. It's actually a really, really good gym. If you guys ever move to Tracy or around Tracy, try Titan Fitness. It's a great gym, and you know, just a great place to hang out. There's a lot of good people down there. Let's see. Intel Land says Christmas parties in the Philippines are early to mid-December for most government and large businesses. Yes. Joe Cunningham says, normally kids go from house to house singing Christmas carols and ask for cash. We've had that around here, but I live down back, Joe, and we don't get too much of the kids singing for Christmas carols. We did have a guy come around here saying that he worked for the barangay, and I know all the people down the barangay, and he was asking for Christmas money for the barangay officials here and for himself. And I'm like, dude, I know all the barangay officials. In fact, one of them's coming over tonight to my house, and I'm going to give it to him. So what he asked me was, he says, well, why don't you give it to me instead, and I'll give it to him? And I'm like, no, I'll give it to him myself. That's why he's coming over here tonight. And I knew it was a scam, you know, and that's what you got to watch out for over here. There's people going on. This guy had actually come around here before. He told me that his grandfather or his father died, and he was looking for money to bury his father. And then he had come over here like a year before that for something else too. But he keeps coming back here looking for money. And from now on, I'm going to tell him to get lost and don't come to my house anymore. You know, it's just, it's sad that you have to say that, but there's scams all over the Philippines. Robert Wilkins says, hey there, just got settled here in Imus. Robert, when you get ready, email me at steven5975@yahoo.com if you want to get into one of our dinners. You can meet us over there at, you know, whenever we have a dinner. Next time it'll be at Texas Roadhouse again, or we might do Mamma Mia's. I'm not sure. One of the places of it's an Italian restaurant. I can't remember the name. I think it's Mamma Mia's or something like that. But I'm thinking Texas Roadhouse. We're going to end up going back to that because we always have luck at Texas Roadhouse. We've only had one complaint from one of the expats here. We had more complaints from TGI Friday this last time that we went there, actually. So Texas Roadhouse, it's probably going to be. Sinfuls is Robert Williams. Hi, Robert. Sinfuls put up the email, steven5975@yahoo.com. So if you guys, any of you guys are looking to join one of our expat get-togethers, right after Christmas, I'm going to be coming up with a date for the next one. And I will probably put that out on our live stream a little bit too. Or you guys can ask me if you want to know what it is. And by the next live stream, I should have a date, okay? Mama Lou's, that's the one, Sinfuls. Yeah, you're right. You're correct. Mama Lou's. I'd forgotten the name. This is Mama Mia's around here too. I saw a sign for that, so maybe that's why I got that stuck in my head for some reason. Anyway, DL says, what's the best way to get involved in politics at the local level in the USA? At the local level, probably running for the local offices like a school committee or something like that, or that's the easiest way to get into local politics. Start at the ground, which is like a school committee member or something like that, and then they have it depends on the town. Some towns have town managers and stuff like that. That's a possibility too. And some of the times you get in as a mayor. Small cities have mayors, and large cities have mayors. You can get in fairly easy in some of those, believe it or not. You might be surprised how easy it is to get into those offices, but some of them don't pay that well and some do. Let's see. Bob Phillips says, in Davao, we've had an entire band and 6 or 8 people caroling. There you go. That sounds interesting, having a band come to your house, kind of cool. Joe Cunningham, would you be able to interview Onstead about health insurance? Joe, I've actually, he actually did an interview with Geo before. I was thinking about doing an interview with him at some point, probably. We just kind of, I'd like to have him come down here, or maybe I could sit someplace with him. It has to be someplace quiet, where I can sit and ask him, and maybe we could sit side by side and just kind of talk. That's the way I would do an interview, and then he can answer you people pretty directly. I would have a list of questions or whatever. We may do that in the future. Joe, if you're looking to talk to him, the best way to talk to him really is, and to learn from him, is to call him up. He's on Messenger, Joe. It's ONSTAD. And if you call him, he'll answer all your questions. He's more than glad to do that. Give him a call tomorrow or something like that. It's Michael Onstad, ONSTAD. And if you want to talk to him, he'll answer all your questions. He's very, very good about that, Joe. I highly recommend any of you guys looking for insurances to talk to him and ask him, because they are catering more and more to expats. They're changing their plans, and Michael's one of the people that works with the company to push for these things. He sells 10% of their product. Okay, so that should tell you something. And they don't want to lose him, and he's because he sells 10% of their product. That's a lot of money. He does very, very well at what he does, But will I interview him someday? I probably will. I'll talk to him when he's down. If he's down this area, maybe he's on here even tonight. Who knows? Sinful says, email to you the questions people want ahead of time for the interview. We could do that too. If you guys want to email, you can email me questions to ask him if we do an interview, and I'll save those questions. I'll put it in a folder till we do it. Okay, DL says, how much is a double quarter pounder meal at McDonald's where you are? It's about $4. $4 with a small Coke, small French fry. It's like $2.07, I think it was last I checked, for a quarter pounder meal. That was around here. I believe the Big Mac is about the same, right around there, give or take a few pennies, a few pesos. DL, how much is, it's a all gold says, is your expat community currently expanding or getting smaller? We have people moving in and people moving out constantly. It's been like this since we started it. Some people like it here, some people do not. We have some people, one person, he wants to move to Thailand. Recently he told me he wanted to move to Thailand. We have another guy, he wants to move to Davao. Some people complain about the noise, some people complain about the pollution. Sometimes it's the people, they just don't like it here, or they don't get along with the people in here. For many reasons, people come and go here. And we have a lot of new people in town too that have just moved in here, and they touch base. We always see people come and go, but they all of them say that they actually like it here, as far as what it has to offer in this area. We have a couple people. We have a guy, Gary. He loves it here. He's going to stay here for good. We have another couple down further, Josh. He's staying here permanently. There's quite a few people here. Nathan stays here. He's permanent. We have a lot of expats in this community. Some of them we don't see. They go off on their own. They disappear, and they just kind of do their own thing. Sep 315 says, are you a Vietnam veteran? No, I'm not over 70. All the Vietnam vets now are over 70 pretty much. I don't think anybody's younger than 70. I'd have to try to figure that out, but I think most of them are in their early 70s, maybe late 60s at the earliest, you know. Hayden in the Philippines, do you recommend getting insurance if you're there for 90 days? I would get travel insurance, Hayden. That's what I would do. Sinful says, Hayden in the Philippines, you can buy travel health insurance for short term. Search for that. Yes, definitely, Hayden. You would definitely want to come over here with something, because God forbid you get sick or you get food poisoning or something like that, you want to have some coverage, you know. I'm not sure if Michael Onstad sells travel insurance, but you may want to check with him, because I believe he sells a little bit of everything now. He sells car insurance, he sells house insurance, just about everything. Sinful says, you're welcome. But as far as insurance over here, guys, when you're doing your budgets, and I want to talk about this because this is kind of important for you guys that are getting ready to move over here. When you do your budgets, whatever money you have coming in, put some money aside for your late 60s and early 70s, because your insurance is going to get really, really high when you guys hit your 70s. When you hit your 70s, the health insurance goes off the charts. It's crazy expensive. You don't want to be caught with your pants down, you know, and get screwed in your 70s and not be able to afford to pay your bills, or you're stuck in a hospital because they won't let you leave, which is illegal, by the way. They can't hold you. They need to come up with a payment plan for you. So if they treated you, they've got to give you a payment plan and let you leave. They cannot hold you there. And if they tell you that they're going to hold you, you say, listen, I'm giving you 4 hours to get everything together and give me a payment plan, and I will pay you, but I'm leaving. And they can't stop you. You can call the police and tell them they're holding me against my will, and it's illegal. So be aware of that. But don't get to that point. Have an insurance that pays the hospital directly. Pacific Cross has that, as long as you're going to a Pacific Cross hospital. And I've talked to Michael about this many times, and Michael's fought for a lot of things in those plans to add additional things. And actually the price of the thing came down because they changed some things in there. Some things, a lot of the things got better, and they got rid of the waiting time. I think it's 30 days or something like that now, instead of a whole year for pre-existing conditions, which kind of stunk, because you were kind of out there on your own. Unless you got in an accident, you kind of had to pay those bills because they wouldn't cover you for the first year, you know. DL says, is the U.S. military moving into the PI? Yes, there's already a lot of U.S. military here. A lot of them don't leave the bases very often, and I think that it's under some sort of agreement. You don't see them off the bases, from what I understand. You don't see them as much like back in Subic's day, when they had all the strip joints and bars and stuff like that. This is a new group. There's been a lot of changes here, because they don't want the things that have happened both up in Japan, where they pissed off the country because of our sailors acting bad. And also up in Subic, we had people that acted really bad. We had some bad actors that were Americans, and they screwed it up for the U.S. military. So I think that the U.S. military doesn't want that to happen again. So I think they're keeping most of these people on base, or they're letting them out in small dribs and drabs where you don't see them that much. They're probably in civilian uniforms or whatever. They keep a very low profile here. We see them out to eat every once in a while. And let me tell you something, the sailors of today are a lot more professional than when I was in there. You know, you go out and do crazy things and stuff like that. A lot of the guys do crazy things, and I think these guys are being read the Riot Act, because they're a lot quieter. Let's see, Sep 315 says, okay, interesting. I thought the Vietnam War was in the 80s. No, it was in the 70s, all the way up to 75, I think it was the last year. Edward Perenboom, hi Steve, good morning from Texas. How you doing, Edward? Sinful says, yes, they tightened the SOFA agreements. Yes, definitely things have changed, because when I ran into some of them up at Texas Roadhouse, they were letting some of the guys off the ships to go on shore leave. And let me tell you something, they were all very professional, and they weren't drinking a lot. They might have like a beer or two, but they're very, you know, watching their behavior. When I stopped to talk to them, they were very professional, very nice. One guy, I asked him some questions, and the guy looked at the other guy. He says, "Can I tell him?" Or, you know, I asked if I could take a picture of him, and he looked at the other guy and says, "Are we allowed to get our pictures taken?" I don't know if it was he was asking somebody that was in charge of him or whatever, or if the other guy was, you know, his petty officer. The guy seemed like he might have been like a seaman recruit or a seaman apprentice, or just a seaman in the military, and he seemed fairly new, but he kept asking the other guys, "Can we do that? Can we do that?" You know, and I actually put the pictures up on in Texas Roadhouse too. They're sitting in there, and I put them in there, and it was actually a lot of the guys on the ship must have went and looked at it, because that video did really good when I used that as my thumbnail. Win Duncan says, as a Thailand guy, I feel like a lot of your videos really apply to living abroad anywhere. I watch them, but don't really want to live in the PI. Yeah, they probably, you know, I have a lot of videos coming up this week. One of them I think I got to redo. I didn't like the way it came out. It was a lot of reading. I was reading an article, and I was giving my 10 cents worth on it, and it just didn't sound right. I don't read online. I don't read very well out loud. It's just not me. I'm not a good. I can read pretty well if it's short stuff and I can get it across well, but when I'm reading a lot of stuff, and this article is like about 20 minutes long, and I was throwing in my 10 cents worth, because a lot of it really did tie into expat stuff. It really did, and it's a lot of it's like psychological stuff. It's things that have to do with people and stuff like that, and it just ties in very well. And you'll see this week when we put that out there. But you're right. A lot of the stuff is for anybody living abroad for the most part. Some of it, you know, some of it's, we talk mostly about the Philippines, of course, because most expats former military people usually come to the Philippines. They usually don't go other places. When I was in Belize, I never ran into that many people that were in the service that became expats down in Belize. Belize actually attracted more of a liberal base, like hippies and deadheads and stuff like that. I'm not quite sure why, but a lot of them would go down to Belize. You wouldn't see a lot of older expats down there. You actually saw a lot of younger expats down there, which is quite interesting, because we get all the older guys over here, you know, which is kind of cool. Let's get some more questions on here, guys. So let's see, we're up to 67. We got 29 thumbs up. Sep315 says, how do you celebrate Christmas together with other expats? Believe it or not, we are celebrating on the 26th, because I figured on the 25th everybody's going to be with their families or whatever. But we're doing another celebration. Plus, we did a big expat celebration at Texas Roadhouse, like I was saying earlier. But yes, we're having the local group around here get together, and we're doing something on the 26th. So we've already sent, you know, we just invited like a few people around here. We didn't invite everybody, and I hope nobody gets insulted by that. But we invited a few people, just because we wanted to keep it small. We didn't want to overdo it, because but the guys that usually hang out together here, and there's some guys that we just invite to the other dinners and stuff like that, and you know. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or anything, but, you know, we'd like to keep it small. So we tried to keep it down to like about 12 people, you know. We're going to have a little barbecue and stuff. Captain Trucker says, what's going on, man? I've caught your videos occasionally. I like some of your work. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Captain Trucker. Let's see, DL says, what's going on with Taiwan? They actually had a couple of guys wash over the side from their submarine. I think it was three guys from one of their submarines that they have there. I didn't even think that they had any submarines yet, because I know that they were ordering some more, and I just heard that they had 3 guys wash overboard and they were searching for them still. So let's hope they find them. You know, submariners are a very tight group. You know, it doesn't matter whether Taiwanese or Chinese or Russian or whatever, and whenever somebody gets lost off a submarine, you know, we look at it differently, like whether they're enemies or not. And Taiwan's not our enemy by any means. Actually, they're quite a good friend. But I mean, even if it was a Chinese submarine, they lost 3 people. You know, submariners pulled together, and you know, they all agree for that. Mike Dempsey says, how do you do your U.S. income taxes there? Is there a tax preparer service familiar with the U.S. tax law? Are you pretty much on your own using TurboTax or something like that? Mike, I've actually done most of my stuff online. this, because it's so difficult using the online things, it's very, very difficult putting in a Philippine address. When you get to the end and you start doing all this stuff, it's just a pain in the butt. And I'll tell you that I talked to a tax preparer who used to be my tax preparer before, and I talked to her, and she's back in Andover, Massachusetts. And I asked her, I says, next time I'm just going to send you the stuff and just do it there, and it just makes my life easier. Win Duncan says, I think the young telecommuters go to Latin America due to time zones. Don't have to work all night. That could be. You're probably right, Win Duncan. I never thought of it that way because they're in the same time zone as like Texas or something like that, I believe. I think. I'm not sure. Let's see. Sinful says, Mike Dempsey, I use tax software with no issues. Yeah, some people have luck with the tax software out there too. The H&R Block software sucks online. Even if you use their Expat tax site, the services suck. They're terrible. Hiding in the Philippines, curious how you found your YouTube lane. How from your first video to now have you changed? Wow, that's a different. I think I was more nervous in the beginning. I still get nervous when I read things, but after a while, you just kind of. It's like talking to your friend. I consider a lot of you guys friends now, so it's like I'm talking to you face to face, and I kind of modeled my videos more after like Mr. Rogers, like being your friend, which is kind of funny, and a lot of people laugh when I tell them that, but it's like an adult version of Mr. Rogers, it really is. It's, but that's when I saw that Tom Hanks movie, it kind of, made me think about what he did for children and the way he talked to them, like you and I would be talking on the streets, and that's the way I looked at it, and I kind of run my channel like that, and that's why my channel, I think, is a lot different than other channels, Mr. Big Slick 66 says, Steve, I have spoken to some vets, and they say now the administration offers medical to all veterans. Do you know if this is true? I served 8 years Army active, 4 reserve, spouse covered too. Spouse is probably not covered, no. Medical is really for 70% or over, and unless you're basically poor. If you can't afford a doctor for one reason or another, you can usually go to a VA hospital and they'll usually help you. Even people that are 10%, they'll usually cover you on most stuff. Because when I was 10% for the longest time, and let me tell you something, they covered just about everything for me. But it really is supposed to be 70% that they do that for and up. But I would say, yes, you could walk in there and they would probably treat you if you can't afford it or you don't have health insurance or something like that. But it's best to go talk to the VA hospital and see what they say. Usually you need to have some sort of percentage to get in there. You need to have, that's the way you get your foot in the door. Like a service connection or something like that. At 0 and you have no service connections, but you served, I'm not sure. I think that they would, though, if you meet certain criteria, but you have to go talk to them. I have seen things that they will, but it was kind of like the way you read it, it was kind of vague. So you may want to check into it. I'm sure they don't want everybody going down to the hospital and saying, hey, I'm here because Steve said this or because I read this here. It did say something about them helping you, though, if you can't afford it. So just FYI, but I'm not up on that too much. So I don't want to say too much more. So don't go by what I said. I'm just telling you what I read. Harry B says, do you have a video of all the documents that you need to have a parcel for the SRRV? No, and the reason why I don't, Harry, is because each person is different. Because there's the veterans they need certain documents like the DD-214. You cannot just, it's not like cookie cutter. Everyone's the same. It's not. If you do want to talk to me about that and you want to talk to me on my phone, email me at steven5975@yahoo.com. Steven with a V, 5975@yahoo.com. Okay, and just email me and ask me for my phone number, and I'll talk to you. And I'll also give you Mary Rose's information if you need it, and I can help you with all that. Giovanni Cipriani says, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to you. So I just got online. So how bad is it getting with China blocking the shipping way with those nets. I haven't heard that much about, I heard about the hoses and stuff out there. I heard they're going to try to do some other stuff. I haven't heard about the net thing. I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference if they try to do something, because the United States is going to get involved in this, I think, sooner or later, if they keep pushing back. I can't see China pushing that much because they'd be asking for trouble. Somebody was just talking the other day. They were talking about the 80-year thing. Every 80 years, something big happens, like World War II, the Civil War, and stuff like that. And they said right now we're at that 80-year mark. We're due, for right now. Within the next year or two, we're due, because you take the middle of the last big huge war, which is World War II, and I think we're up to about the 80 years, So I think any year now we're going to start seeing something, and I think it's going to have something to do with China. That's just a gut feeling I have. And if history repeats itself like it usually does, I think we're in for another big ride with a big war, and hopefully no nukes get passed back and forth or exchanged. God help us if that happens. DL, did the Chinese lose a sub a few months back? Yes, they did. Yes, they don't like to talk about it, but yes, they did. And then today we had the 3 guys get washed overboard in Taiwan. Mike Dempsey says, thanks, Sinfuls. You're welcome, he says. Sinful says, at DL, yes, they did. Sinfuls, I use H&R, but it has gone bad in my opinion. Yes, H&R, when I used them last time, I had a really hard time the past 2 years using their stuff. And their service, trying to contact somebody, they don't call you back. You email them when you use that software. It's terrible. I was right up to the last minute, and they took care of me. I actually had to get an extension. That's how bad it was, their service. Next time I will use the people right in the office and just send them the stuff and tell them, here you go. Danny Bondurant says, if a person is on Social Security disability, do you still have to pay tax there in the Philippines? You don't have to pay taxes here in the Philippines. You pay it in the U.S. So you have to pay either here or there. One of the you still have to pay the U.S. if you're going to be a citizen. If you give up your citizenship over here, hold on. Let me rephrase that. If you are a U.S. citizen, you will pay the U.S. If you come over here and you're on the SRRV, you don't have to pay any taxes. Let's just put it that way. If you're over here on the tourist visa, you don't have to pay any taxes. Okay, that should make it easier. If you give up your citizenship, which very rarely does anybody do that over here, then you would pay taxes over here. Okay. There you go. Have a nice day. You can always take a short vacation to Guam to get your taxes done. It's only 4 hours from Manila. Yes, actually, you could do that if you wanted to. That'd be quite a trip, actually, to just do your taxes at H&R Block. Captain Trucker, I respect that you've grown your channel without flashing Filipinas in your thumbnails and not focusing on just talking about women. Yeah, that was one of the things I did not want to do. I did not want to become that type of channel, and I don't even, on my thumbnails, if you notice, I don't even use the words on my thumbnails. I use just basics. It's all basics. I want to grow my channel organically and have people that really enjoyed being on the channel, and we've actually done that, and that's one of the things I'm a little bit, I'm proud of that we've grown a really good channel and kept it clean, and that's, you're right. I mean, some of those channels, some people like that, but I'm not that type of person, so I want to keep it being me. Giovanni Cipriani says, Michael Onset, contact him. He has a insurance company. He works for Pacific Cross Health Insurance. It's great. Plus, you can cover your spouse, and prices are cheap. Yes, we just talked about that, Giovanni, actually. Filipina Unfiltered is on board. Corinne, if you guys are looking for a great channel to watch, Filipina Unfiltered is a phenomenal channel to watch. And she was over here on vacation. You might want to watch her channel, some of her older stuff too, and her new stuff. Very good channel, and she's planning on retiring over here too. She says, Merry Christmas, Steve. How do you deal with not being with family in the U.S. during the holidays? I have a daughter back home. We talk occasionally, and I have my sister back home. I don't have a lot of family back home, Corinne, actually. I have a lot of cousins and stuff like that, and some nieces, but most of them are not really close. And our family, I noticed that my family was changing after my father passed away. And that was one of the reasons why I left, actually, because people weren't getting in touch and stuff like that, even around the holidays. And I just said, you know what, maybe it's time to move and start a new life. And that's what I did. Things change. I still talk to most of the people that I was close with, and I can talk to them face to face, just like I'm talking to you right now on here. So it's kind of cool, actually. You're never far away from people. I don't miss people because I talk to them all the time. It's just, with the new stuff that we have on computers, it's kind of nice being able to talk face to face with your sister or brother or kids or whatever. And there you go. Have a nice day. Says, when I live in Korea, H&R Block did my taxes and I had no problems. But Merry Christmas to you also, Corinne. There you go. Have a nice day. When I live in Korea, H&R Block did my taxes and had no problems. Yeah, some people can. Some people have a knack using those online programs. I found it very difficult. It just was hard to work through some of the things that it had. It's because addresses over here are different. Number one, it wouldn't accept certain things. It wouldn't accept the my address because it's my zip code is only 4 digits here in the Philippines, and it wouldn't accept that. So I had to add like a 0 in front of it, which when it gets over here, they look at it like it's not the right address, the right zip code. Finn Publishing says, with expats and YouTubers fighting the lousy behavior of most, is the sentiment towards expats still good or getting worse? Do most expats choose not to have a YouTube, want to live a quiet life? Most expats want to live a quiet life. Let me tell you something. Somebody once stated on one of the other channels that, and also people write this to me sometimes, that, and I've even stated it, some of the expats that we get over here are not the best and brightest. We get a lot of good people that come into the country. A lot of people are great people, but when you really get to know people after a while, you get to see how messed up some people can be. We get people over here and they unpack all their baggage over here that they had, the problems that they had back in the States. It's like they pack it up in their luggage and they take it over here and become the same person. And this is like your second or last chance at fixing yourself. And people don't look at it that way. Philippine Unfiltered says, at Captain Tugger, LOL, yes, I appreciate him for that too. Philippine Unfiltered, hello, Giovanni, LOL. Mike D says, we are due right in time for that 2024 election. Wonder what the next excuse is to let another creepy, sleepy Joe in for the next 4 years, LOL. I'm sure they'll figure out something. I think the choices are really slim, let's put it that way. Nobody wants to run because of the way they tear you apart and attack you for everything. I wouldn't want to put my family through that. I wouldn't want to go through it. The Sigma Enigma says, I'm new to your channel and appreciate your focus on real issues over clickbait. It's educational and admirable. Thank you for the commitment. Thanks, Sigma. I appreciate that. DL says, did you hear the U.S. can mobilize all vets, including disabled ones, up to the age of 60? I never heard that one. No, I don't think that that's totally true. I don't think that would ever happen either. Haydn in the Philippines, I find this a very useful source. Have you ever experienced any trolls, and if so, did this affect you? I have a troll out there right now. If you look up the Philippine Info channel, the guy rides my rear end like there's no tomorrow, but he's the guy only has 1.25K or something like that for his channel, and I don't let it bother me really. I left to think, and why have a battle of the wits with unarmed people when they're talking crap about you and it's not true? What do you care? People know who you are. If you got a channel with 30,000 people usually your subscribers know you. I just don't. I've had 1 or 2 people, maybe even 3, try to troll my channel, and then 2 of them dropped off, and it's just 1 now, I think. And for the most part, he's harmless. You watch one of his videos, you know who he is right away. You know where he's coming from. So Giovanni Cipriani, if you are a disabled veteran on disability or SSDI, Social Security disability, you're tax exempt no matter where. Yes, that's pretty much true as long as you keep your citizenship, yes. Most of the stuff that disabled vets get anyway is non-taxable. And SSDI, Social Security disability, I'm not sure if you're tax exempt on that. That I don't know about. I'm not sure. I'm not up on SSDI. Spike Protein, I told Life Beyond the Sea I loved AI girls. Okay. Gabriel Laxon, at Finn, it's only the street level Filipinos that are impressed by an expat. The other social classes look down on single white males moving to the Philippines. I wouldn't say that. I've known a lot of wealthier expats around here. I meet a lot of people here since I've been here, and let me tell you something that I find most Filipinos are all the same, whether they're wealthy or not. I've talked to people just sitting in restaurants, and I knew that they were wealthy. I've talked to tons of people, and they're all friendly. You know, I can't even, you know, I've never met too many unfriendly Filipinos. Maybe once in a while, great while. Most of the people here are pretty decent people. Timothy Day says, Gary, in your complex, served 2 tours in Vietnam. He was in the Navy on a destroyer, I believe. May want to hook up with him and find out. I believe his destroyer shot down more than a dozen aircraft. Gabriel Laxon says, that's why you only see expats with poor Filipinas. Others wouldn't be caught dead dating a white man with a huge age gap. You know something? I think people think like all expats over here are all after the poor Filipinas, and that's not true. A lot of the expats that I know over here now are more looking for girls that work or have a job or something like that, because a lot of the guys over here don't have huge pensions or anything like that, and a lot of the guys are actually dating people closer to their age now. There's a few exceptions, but I see that most of the guys in our group, they're age appropriate. They're age appropriate. They're not all. I don't see these guys dating, you know, girls that are 18, 19 years old. There's a few in the group that do, but very few do. Most of them actually date people in their 30s, 40s, 50s. My girlfriend's 50. She looks like she's 35, you know, and she's fantastic. Actually, I'd rather have somebody closer to my age, to be honest. And then, let's see. Brent says, Merry Christmas, Steve. Filipino Unfiltered says, oh, thank you, Steve. You're welcome. Let's see, Robert in Mindanao. Good evening, my friend. Sinful says, no work of any kind. Oh, hello. There you go. Have a nice day. I have close friends in the U.S. They will visit me after I get settled in there in March. Patrick Glenn says, good morning, Steve. Do you think OJ did it? Kind of obvious. Win Duncan, are there golf courses in your area? Yes. Right behind me. There's about, God knows how many there are. There's probably like about 6 of them behind me. You know, and they're all big ones. There's Eagle Ridge, and there's another one back there too. And they're all they have some pretty big competition up there. We actually have a couple of golfers in our group for you guys that do golfing. I don't know if you do golfing, Win Duncan, but this place here, General Trias and Tracy Martirez, right down the street here, big golfing. If you're a golfer, this is the area you want to be in, actually. Giovanni Cipriano, so what happened to that expat and his Filipina that got beaten up on Walking Street, seen on Philippines Adventure? Mike, I don't know. I have nothing to do with what he posted on there. I'm not sure. I didn't even hear about that, to be honest with you. Sinful says, Win Duncan, yes, there is a large golf course very near to Steve. It's called Eagle Ridge and has 4 18-hole golf courses. Sinfuls, what's the other golf course near here? It's right up the street here, too. It's actually closer to me than Eagle Ridge. I can't remember the name of it. It's right down the street here, too. It's actually right behind me. Sep 315, what's your favorite state in the U.S. except Massachusetts? Maine. Maine and actually New Hampshire. I would say New Hampshire is probably, I like just as much as Maine, but Maine is more wide open. But I love New Hampshire for its mountains and stuff. There you go. Have a nice day. Did you hear the vlogger and the Angeles that got into a fight with a Korean on Walking Street? I did hear about it. And he goes on to say, it was because he was doing a video on Walking Street. The Korean worked at a bar. Sinful says, your SSDI benefits may become taxable when one half of your benefits plus other income exceeds an income threshold based on your tax filing status. I gotcha. Okay, Giovanni Cipriani says, is there a small PX at the VA hospital like there were in Florida at Bay Pines, Virginia? In Florida, Bay Pines, VA? There's a small store there that sells cookies and stuff. They sell hats that say U.S. Embassy, because that is part of the U.S. Embassy, believe it or not. They sell all kinds of stuff. They're lighters, and it's just it's a small store, but it's not. No, I wouldn't call it a PX or anything like that. Not even close. It's more like a small stand that sells coffee and stuff. But they do sell some shirts and stuff there. Sinful says, at Giovanni Cipriani, no PX. Giovanni Cipriani, thanks, Sinful. Damn, I was hoping. Yeah, it's not a PX by any means. Just like a souvenir stand. RLV, Merry Christmas, Steve. Merry Christmas to you also. To all of you. Let's see here. Sinful says, yes, would be nice. It would be nice if they had something like that around here for us. If there was a PX, I wouldn't drive that far. LOL. There we go. Giovanni Cipriani says, at Sinfuls, you bet it would be awesome to have a little PX like that, like our VA and hospital has by the cafeteria. We actually had one in Bedford, Massachusetts. It was quite a nice little store, actually. They sold a lot of stuff there, and it was quite interesting what they had on sale there. And it was a lot of stuff there because people lived there too. There was a lot of people that lived there permanently, or that were there for long term. So the PX, or whatever you want to call it, I wouldn't call it a PX. I call it like a little store, but they had a lot of people going in there to buy stuff, actually. Larry Francie says, Merry Christmas there, friend. Merry Christmas to you. Anders Streifeld says, Sweden and NATO. That's a good thing, I think. Let's see, Sinfuls. I have some nice golf courses near me. One of the nicest 4 minutes from my house. Sinful says, Old Orchard. Yeah, Old Orchard Beach is nice. Win Duncan says, thanks. Giovanni Cipriani says, Sinfuls, how about getting surgery there? Do they allow community care services? They don't have any of that stuff over here. This is just a clinic over here. Sinful says, Sherwood and Rivera. Sinful says, Giovanni Cipriani, I think if you have FMP, then probably yes. Yeah, FMP, the Foreign Medical Plan, they cover all outpatient stuff. The VA here is just basically a clinic, and a lot of people don't get that. They call it a VA. A lot of people call it a VA hospital. It's not a hospital; it's a clinic, and it's very light clinic. They cover certain things. They can do X-rays and stuff like that, but they don't do any big things. They'll send you out for that. I'm actually getting ready to go for some to see a doctor outside and use the FMP. I got to work on getting some FMP documents and stuff, and then I got to go see a pain doctor, which my doctor already gave me a document for. So let's see. Larry Francie says, will there be February 12th to March 11th, hopefully meetup? Yes, we will probably have a meetup during that time, Larry. If you contact me at steven5975@yahoo.com, call me before those dates at the beginning of February. Ask me for my phone number at the email, steven5975@yahoo.com, and we'll try to get you on the list too, so we can call you or let you know when we have get-togethers. Sinful says, Larry Francie, have a good trip. All Gold says, would you consider moving to another area of the Philippines in the future or stay put? I'm planning on going somewhere. It's going to be around here, okay? I'm not sure where I'm going to go. I will probably keep this place here just because a lot of the people that I know are around here. And I want to come around here, and also my girlfriend has family here. It would only cost me $80 a month to keep this place, so why wouldn't I keep it? And we can come here, and I can stay here for a week if I want, and then go back to my regular place. But I plan on doing something over the next year. I'm not sure what or if I'm going to do it. It all depends on a few things. I've got a lot of things in the frying pan right now I'm trying to work on, and we'll see how that goes, It's a lot of stuff I can't say on here what I'm doing, but I have some things that are, in the works. And I'm looking around. I got to pay off a few bills that I have to pay, and then after that, I can pretty much do whatever I want. Giovanni says, okay, because VA lets me do all my surgery here in Florida through community care services. They also have a card that I was given a long time ago that it was like a thing that they were trying out, and they gave me one of those cards. I still have it around somewhere. When you were in the United States, you could go into any doctor and they treat you, and the VA would cover it. There you go. Have a nice day. Have you been to Buffalo Wild Wings in BGC? I have not. I think there's another one around here too. I've seen them, in a few other places, I believe. I think it's Buffalo Wild Wings anyway. I have not tried them, no. I'm not really big on chicken. I'm more a steak guy. Harry B says, sorry, I didn't write down your email. Could you repeat it? Harry, it's Steven with a V and then 5975 at yahoo.com. Okay, Steven 5975 at yahoo.com. Edward Perrenboom, Merry Christmas to you, Steve, and all your listeners. Take care and be safe. Stay healthy. We need you. Thanks, Edward. Captain Trucker says, do you invest a lot of time watching other vloggers? No. I really don't watch other vloggers. A lot of people think that as a vlogger, you watch other vloggers. I don't watch them. I just don't. I don't have time. I most of my day is spent with expats, helping other expats, going to get their SRRVs and stuff like that, taking phone calls, sitting down talking with people outside here, or having people come by and visit. I have people come, a group of us that sit here every night. We just sit and chat and stuff like that and have a good time. But I don't watch other vloggers that much. Maybe once in a while I'll see something that catches my eye. But for the most part, no, I don't. I do watch vloggers back in the U.S. or watch stuff that interests me. But the vloggers here in the Philippines, I'm already settled in here. I don't need to watch them. I know what it's like here. Simple says, the golf course is near you, Steve. LOL, those names. Let's see. Simples puts up Steven5975 at yahoo.com for anybody that needs my phone number. It takes me 2 to 3 days to get back to you. Giovanni Cipriani, so best to get Michael Onstadt Pacific Cross Health Insurance, right, Sinfuls? There's other insurances out there, but we all recommend Michael for many reasons because he backs it up. He's there to support you. He's a good guy. He'll always answer the phone if you have a problem. He knows the higher-ups there, and he's going to sell you the insurance that best fits you. I tell people, get the best insurance you can afford over here and make sure they reimburse the hospital. So talk to Michael. You want them to reimburse the hospital. That's the insurance you want. If otherwise you have to put out the money, lay out the money, or you can't leave the hospital. And most people cannot afford that. So make sure they pay the hospital direct. And remember, things that they don't cover, you still got to pick up. They're going to cover most things, but you want to make sure you have the best one. Sinful says, at Harry B. Sinful is Giovanni Cipriani, best option. Giovanni Cipriani says, okay, thanks. Harry B says, thanks, Sinfuls. Mark Richard, the Philippine needs self-serving checkouts at the stores to move people along. I saw your video on ATMs. Great video despite the pushback you got from some trolls. You're always going to get trolls out there, man. I haven't even read the comments yet, so I'm sure I got a few on there. Mark Richards says, Merry Christmas, everyone. Giovanni Cipriani, Sinful's got my house listed on Redfin here in Florida last week, waiting on it to sell them. Me and my Filipino wife coming home to Negros Oriental, Gilhulang City. Sinful, Giovanni Cipriano, nice, good luck. Jack Dempsey says, do a lot of Filipinos golf? Yes. There are a lot of Filipino golfers here. A lot of Filipinas, too. Jimbo L, wow, Steve, you look 20 years younger with your girlfriend. It is a good fit for you, brother. Thanks, man. She is a good fit. Yeah, she's in the other room right now. She's not feeling well tonight. But my girlfriend is a phenomenal person. And I was glad I met her because I was about to give up. I'll tell you, I was really, really lucky. There's a lot of good Filipinas over here. And I just happened to find one that fits me almost 100%. I don't have any issues with her at all. She's a phenomenal, wonderful woman. Sinfuls, I have Buffalo Wild Wings at Vista Mall here at Santa Rosa. There you go. Have a nice day. I plan to live in Luzon to start. I think it's better to get acclimated in a place that is set up for foreigners then venture out to find another city to live. That's what actually happens in our area. We get people that venture through here. They stay with us for a while. Some of them, like being in amongst expats. It's hard living amongst expats. We get good people here and we get messed up people here too. And sometimes you find out who people really are. Sometimes it takes a long time, like a year or a year and a half before you find out who people are. Sometimes it takes 3 months. And sometimes you just end up making really, really good friends. And I've had all those things, just like back in the States, You're not going to fit in with everybody, It's the same way over here. So, and as an expat and as an expat vlogger who works with expats, I've seen everybody cycle through here, all kinds of people, and you just got to kind of figure out whether you want to mix with expats or not, or just keep it simple and just have a few expat friends. And I tell people it's best to probably just have a few solid expat friends, and that's the best way to be, ROV, Steve, do you eat lumpia or Philippine lumpia? I do. I'm not a big fan of Filipino food, to be honest with you, but I do eat lumpia. RLV, let's see, all gold, is beef readily available where you are? Yes, at Walmart. They have good beef down here at Walmart, actually, and that's one thing that they do have. They have some steaks, stuff like that. I just saw a store the other day. It was in Alabang, and they had all kinds of beef there, man, and it was really good beef too. In Alabang, there's a lot of stuff. If you're looking for Western foods, man, steaks and stuff like that, Alabang is the place to go. It really is. Sinful says, Giovanni Cipriani, nice open space, looks good. Keith Mahoney says, I live near Palmetto. And Average Joe's Life says, it makes perfect sense that you don't match other vloggers. You don't exactly need tips on moving to the Philippines or Philippine budgets. You are the OG on those topics. Thanks, man. Let's see. Sinful says, there you go. Have a nice day. Check out Laguna and Santa Rosa and New Valley area. You have all here close to freeways. Where Sinfuls lives, if you got money, man, that's the place to go. And you don't even really need a lot of money to go there. I think if you're in the 2,000 to 3,000 range or more, actually probably more towards the 3,000 range, Sinfuls area would be a great place. That's a great place to go. The stores there are very Western. It kind of reminds me of a more spread out Alabang, because Alabang is kind of spread out and it's really clean and nice. Giovanni Cipriani says, at Sinfuls and at Terra Chai Bay is right there in boat ramp. Other question, do they have charter boats there to go out and catch some good fishing? There are those small boats you can rent. They'll take you out. There's very small boats, but they'll take you out fishing. There are charter boats you can get. You can probably even get bigger ones if you want to, if you talk to the right people. I know down in Ternate and in Tanza, there's people that will take you out on boats. Yes, you can get boats. Manny Figueroa, you just talk to the locals. Manny Figueroa 621, hey Steve, what immunizations and shots would you suggest taking before going to the Philippines for the first? I would talk to your doctor about that. I didn't get any immunizations except for what I had already, and I was fine when I got over here. So you're pretty much good. If you're from the United States, most of those shots you already got. I would get hepatitis shots done again if you have to. Talk to your doctor about that. Hepatitis for sure. Sinfuls, at Giovanni Cipriani, I think there is. Sinfuls says, I have a good deli near me with Angus beef, steaks, burgers, sausages. Sinfuls actually has a good pizza place near him and Italian food. And their food is phenomenal there, man. He took me to this restaurant there, and I'll tell you, the food was the best Italian food I've had. Even including, except for I wouldn't say except for the North End in Boston. But, I mean, other than that, I'd say that's the best Italian food I've had in a long time. Hiding in the Philippines, I was in Cebu for 3 weeks and was mostly ignored by expats there. Found it to be odd. I don't find it odd, because I walk by expats all the time, and some of them talk to me and some of them don't. Actually, a lot of the expats here that come here are people that saw me and they moved here. And I see them, and they're people that never talked to me, but they watched my videos and they moved here. I actually just met somebody with his girlfriend the other day, and they watched me and they came here. So it's kind of interesting. And I told them to get in touch with my group, actually. I actually have a thumbnail coming up with them in it, so it's kind of interesting. Giovanni Cipriani says, taught my Filipino wife how to use a fishing rod here in Florida. She out fishing me. Sea trout are biting great now. Sep 315 says, at Sinfuls, do they also have bratwurst and schnitzel? You can get almost anything here if you search hard enough. I think the bratwurst and schnitzel, I think S&R might have that if I remember correctly. Mark Richard, does S&R have good steaks? Yes. And hamburger and hot dogs? Yes. You can get good hot dogs here. It is possible to get them. There's actually a Highlands, I think it's called, and they have good Angus hot dogs. They're delicious. Sinful, SEP 315. Yes, they do. SEP 315 at Sinfuls. That's Sinfuls. That's great. Giovanni says, at Keith Mahoney, you close to me in Palmetto Point? I'm not sure where that is. Where's Palmetto Point? He's asking Keith Mahoney. Keith Mahoney, I live in North Point. Okay. Giovanni Cipriano, okay. They got a conversation going on here between them. Giovanni says, you're not far from me. Sinful says, SEP 315, you can find good German restaurants in Manila area. They are few, but my friend told me there is an exceptional one. Not So Crazy John is on here. How you doing, John? He says, hi, Steve. SEP 315, Sinful's good to know. Thanks, Sinful's, you're welcome. Dickie Spaz is on board. Hello, Steve. Sinful's, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, Dickie. Good to see you on here tonight, man. Jimbo L. I'm a newbie traveler, never been out of America, but landing in Cebu on January 22nd took me 64 years to understand that life is, and it is happening now. So go for it. Exactly, man. You know, like it's all about stepping out of your comfort zone back there in the States and coming over here. You know, it's a huge step for most people. I got some videos coming up on this. Some of them are kind of slow to follow. I'm not the best at putting that information out there, especially when I have to read. I was talking about this earlier. I'm going to try to redo one of the videos and see how it comes across, if it comes across better. I did 4 videos. I watched all 4 of them, and one of them I didn't like. One, there was a little bit of wind noise and stuff like that, but I can't help that because I was outside doing it, and it was windy here today. Simple says, at Dickie Spaz, hey Dickie, Merry Christmas. ROV, December 26th, Tuesday, holiday, no work. I see Sinful says, Jimbo L, good for you. Sinful's, life is short, make the most of it. Jimbo L says, thanks, man. Giovanni says, Jimbo, once you go to the Philippines, you're going to wonder why you didn't move there earlier. Let's see. Harry B says, are there pharmacies that you can have your VA meds sent to? No. Over here, the VA sends them to you. The clinic sends them to you. If you're coming from the United States, if you're best to just go back and forth and get 90-day supplies or something like that. But if you're living here, the VA will just send them out to your house. They use a couple of couriers and they ship them right to your house. Jimbo L, I know what you mean, bro. Lieutenant Nescafe says, at Philippine channel, saw your video on banking. Country is its own worst enemy. No process or continual improvement. Total mess. I tend to agree about that because, I wish they'd move forward a little bit on ATMs, because I talked to the bank and they said, well, that's another company that restocks the ATMs when I complained. And I'm like, well, you need to talk to these people and tell them they need to refill them, restock them, and service them more often, because either they're broke, they're empty, and you got one ATM working in the whole mall, and you got a couple thousand people in here shopping. Don't you think you need to have another ATM working around here? Otherwise, and they make money off those ATMs, which is funny. You think they'd want them fixed all the time because of the, the withdrawal fees and stuff like that, but they don't really care. It's like, okay, so what? I'm just a worker here. I don't own the bank. That's kind of the attitude. The general attitude is, I think people could make more money here if the attitude changed. Like, I want to make my company more money, but their pay is not going to go up. So they're like, man, I don't care. The pay is so low that I think that's part of it too, is the pay is so low that they just don't care. Mike Dempsey, I really enjoyed my stay in New Valley. Peaceful and relaxing. I think that that is where I will set up home base when I move there next year. That's a nice area. Sinful says, Mike Dempsey, I certainly enjoy this area a lot. I know that Rich loves it out there. Sinfuls loves it out there. He loves that area, and actually I do too. He took me shopping around there, and we hung out for the day, and we had a good time out there. Sinfuls says, seek China Bank ATMs. They have been the best I've seen. I agree with that. China Bank ATMs, usually there's not a lot of people wait there, and China Bank is actually a good bank, and it's not owned by China. So don't think that it's a Chinese bank and you know, hey, I'm not going to go near that bank because it's a Chinese bank. It's not. It's not. It's a Philippine-owned bank by Chinese Filipinos. Okay. Sinful says, plus you can do 20K on one transaction. That's pretty good when you can do that, actually. Giovanni says, at Harry B. VA, make sure you let the VA in America know you moving to the Philippines 30 days prior and get everything done before you make the move. I'm going through the process now here in Florida. I let them know before I left, and I was glad that I let them know before I left, and they helped me a lot at the Bedford VA in Massachusetts. Giovanni Cipriani, hand carry your VA records to take to Manila VA. I never heard that. I don't think they'll let you they wouldn't let me take any records. They said that they would take care of everything and everything's online. So, MF, I'm 52. Is it okay to date an 18-year-old Filipina? Yeah, it is. If that's what you want. Most of the guys here go for... The average guy here stays pretty close to his age, within 10 to 15 years usually. And you'll probably be happier. If you're 52, go for like the 30s and you'll be happier. You're dealing with an 18-year-old here is like a 12-year-old back home. In all honesty, it's the truth. You know, they're very naive here. Lieutenant Nesca faces the Philippine Info Channel. It's a lack of critical thinking straight across the board. People don't think about their inputs or outputs, let alone the consequences of an action or action. It's bad. I know that. I know that it's, you know, it is really bad. Sinful says China Bank is owned by BDO, but BDO sucks. It's funny because China Bank is a good bank and BDO has their issues for sure, you know. Lloyd White, you look younger. Did you lose weight? Merry Christmas to both of you. I have not lost weight. I'm going to be losing weight probably this coming year for sure. I have to, for a lot of different reasons. I want to lose at least 20 pounds or 25 pounds. I need to lose at least 20 to 25 pounds. Keith Mahoney, I used Bank of China when we go there 2 months ago. You mean China Bank? Lieutenant Nescafe, Sinful's BDO. We find ways to screw you, LMAO. Let's see, Sinful's at MF. It's your life, and you're both happy, then no one's business. Yeah, I hear that, but I think most of the guys over here, Sinfuls, what I'm trying to say is, I guess that, you know, if you're 52 and you're dating an 18-year-old girl, I think there's such an age gap there that you just can't get along, and that's why I'm doing a lot of these videos that are coming up over the coming weeks. Are going to be talking about that and things you need to look for in a Filipina, and it doesn't even talk about age at all, actually. But if you can find those things in a woman, whether she's 18 or whether she's 50, those are the things that I think make a difference. You know, yeah, you'll have a young, pretty 18-year-old girl, but is she going to have the commitment, the drive, and all the other things that you need in a woman? And a lot of this communication. Communication is huge. If you don't have any communication with a girl over here, forget it. You know, MF, is healthcare free in the Philippines on a retirement visa? No. Nope, it's not free. You can sign up for Phil Health, and I believe, I'm not sure if you get a discount or not. I think there's a 5% discount or something like that. And also the PRA will help you sign up for Phil Health also. But no, it's not free. And Phil Health is not that great of insurance. They cover like maybe 25% or 30% of your stuff. Lieutenant Nescafe at MF, even if it was, you would not want it. Get private health insurance. James Gilbert, I bank at Land Bank. It's a government bank. I can get 50K pesos at a time. Sinfuls at MF. No, it's not. But there is good medical memberships you can have. Check out Maxicare and Medicard. See, Sinfuls is talking about this and about this Maxicare and Medicard stuff. Those are actually quite interesting. We've been talking about this over here at my house lately with some of the guys that actually have some of those things. And some of those ones, you can get these really bigger plans, and they cover, you know, inpatient too. The reason why I talked about Michael, because I think Michael, it's good having somebody there that will back up and push you through. would I say don't get this Maxicare or Medicare? I think that most of those are good for outpatient, but you can get inpatient too on those cards. You can buy different plans too on some of those. Each card is different, and when I first looked into them, I wasn't too excited about them, but I've seen a couple of those cards that are really, really good, and I haven't had the luxury of spending some time getting into those ones more, and I'm gonna try to see if I can talk to somebody from Maxicare and Medicard, and I want to talk to Michael about those too to see what he thinks of them, because Michael's usually tells me, the truth about what he thinks, and some of them are not that bad though, from what I could see. But I'm not sure because some of these places, they go bankrupt and stuff like that too. In the Philippines, you got to be really careful of these. Giovanni says, dating a Filipina, I got me a province one. They great because they family oriented. Sinful says, I have been there and done that with a Filipina that was 20 years younger. She's my ex, LOL. My current wife is 17 years is only 10 years younger. Life much better. See, he's at where I'm at, me and Sinful's, his wife is like 10 years different, and my girlfriend, she's like 10 years difference. And let me tell you something, I find it that much better. We get along better. We kind of mesh better. And I find my life a lot easier, with a person close to my age, 10 years. I think that's the place to be. I think if you're at the same age, it's not as good. I think 10 years younger is better. Mike D, how do you navigate your banking living in a tourist on a tourist visa? It's the same thing. I mean, you can use your ATM card over here as long as you tell your bank. I knew we shouldn't tell the banks we are moving. I do have Schwab and I know no fees. I just don't want canceling my account. They cancel your account when you start doing your trading from over here. They know where you're trading from because they can if they see you always doing your trades from over here, you're gonna have problems. Lieutenant Nescafe says, Mike D, tell them nothing, and don't cancel your accounts in your home country. Exactly. Don't tell them anything. Don't talk to them about anything. They'll flag your account. Ameritrade shut down my account, which is Schwab, by the way. Ameritrade was owned by Schwab. They closed down my account, and a lot of other people over here, they closed down their accounts. I wasn't the only one. It was a whole slew of people that got canceled. So be careful. Sinfuls, at Mike D, if you're a veteran, get a USAA account. Sinful says, I have had great care from Maxicare. Yeah, Sinful likes Maxicare a lot, and I've heard good things about them. But do your homework on those cards, because you might need different things. Like Pacific Cross, you might want to get the inpatient from, but you might want Maxicare for your outpatient stuff. Okay, so just keep that in mind. You can kind of mix insurances over here. Okay, and the one that he's talking about, if you're 60 or older, it's $200, and if you're younger than that, it's $100, I believe. And Sinfuls can comment on that if I'm wrong. I think that's what he quoted. What Sinfuls had actually told me. Jimbo L says, family laughs at me for going to Philippines to meet a girl educated nurse, 54. We have been video chatting 7 times a day for 3 years, so we will finally be together. Some relationships like that, long distance relationships, work out good, and then sometimes you get with them and you find that it was all just a fraud, that they didn't really show you them real selves, because you're just like vloggers, and I'm going to be honest here, a lot of vloggers portray themselves different than who they really are. A lot of the guys, when they meet me, they expect me to be the same person on the vlog, and sometimes I'm not. I get bad moods, and but when you go on to your vlog, you have to be at your best, and I've heard this from other vloggers too. They told me that people get mad at them because when they meet you, you're a little bit different. And I don't know if I'm different to other people or not. Usually, what you see is what you get with me. But I know at times people have surprised me and stopped by here or something like that, and something was going on, or you're going through something, and you're not in your usual state. Of course, you're going to be a little different, and that goes for anybody. Let me see. Okay, Giovanni says, okay, everyone, I gotta get a $15 haircut here. It's crazy. A high and tight military cut haircut here is getting crazy. Hiding in the Philippines, I took a 21-year-old out to dinner there. It was exciting. I realized very quickly during the meal that the gap was a problem. Yes, I will be looking for someone older. And that's true. All gold, is it easy to see the stars at night where you are, or is there smog? I can see the stars where I'm at, but it's not like up in Maine or New Hampshire. Yeah, there is smog for sure. If you're pretty close to Manila, you're gonna get the smog. But I can see the stars here. You don't see shooting stars and stuff like that. Like if you're lucky. I did see a couple of shooting stars here because they were so bright, but most of them you cannot see. Lieutenant Nescafe says inventory stock outs never cease to amaze me. They wait to get to zero or to trigger the reorder. Why not build in buffers in all stock to trigger reorder? Even McDonald's can't get it right. It's true. It's true. The Philippines. There was actually a restaurant today. We were actually talking with one of the guys around here, and he says, "Don't go to that restaurant. They got a big burger out there that they're showing, and they're out of stock." And they told people. He asked them before, "Do you have stock?" They said yes. He sat down and ordered something. He says, "Out of stock." He got up and walked out. You know, and I can't blame him. Richard in Imus, Philippines. Something I found out that supposedly BCBS Federal Overseas Program will use GMMI for overseas, and according to GMMI, if you can pre-schedule a surgery, you won't have to pay all up front. Okay. Richard Emu says St. Luke's Hospital shows it takes GMMI starts beginning of the year. I'm not familiar with that, Richard. Maybe you can fill me in some more sometime if you want to contact me or whatever, so I can learn a little bit about. I think you're talking about. Are you talking about some American plan or something like that? I'm not familiar. Blue Cross Blue Shield. Okay, I got you now. Blue Cross Pacific Cross is actually the old Blue Cross Blue Shield. I don't know if you know that, Richard, but Blue Cross Blue Shield became Pacific Cross over here. Mike D, yeah, I have a USA account also, LOL, but I can't contribute to my Roth at Schwab. But to get back to Richard, yeah, you may want to look into Pacific Cross, because that was Blue Cross Blue Shield. Okay, since Richard and Emos, Philippines, great to know that I have BCBS. Sinfuls, the Maxicare rates have gone up this year now. The two plans are like, let's see, 8,888 PHP and 15K. Okay. It's still pretty reasonable considering the amount of services that you get for all the checks and stuff. Because I go into the doctors probably like every week, it seems like, for something. It's just minor stuff, but stuff that I want taken care of. And I'm actually feeling better. I mean, I'm feeling healthier and over my cough. And I noticed my face was puffier before, and it's starting to thin out. My weight hasn't changed, but I feel better. You know, part of that was because of some kidney issues that I was having, and even that got fixed. For my doctor down the street here, you know, and to see her for $6 is a deal. Dutch says, good morning, Tracy Martinez and roomies from Palos Verdes Peninsula, California. Merry Christmas. Richard and Emus, I have a friend that Blue Cross Blue Shield, Pennsylvania, hasn't seen that on his plan. Sinfuls, Richard and Emus, Philippines, St. Luke's and Manila. Richard and Emus, Philippines, but I just read it on Blue Cross Blue Shield Overseas website, but it also says, please verify with local providers first. So, you know, there you go. Sinfuls, okay, thanks. Good info, Richard in Emus, Philippines. Sinfuls, I have a dark sky where I am at. Yeah, Sinfuls is actually out in a good spot. He could probably see the sky better. I'm not sure if the pollution affects him that much there because the wind's blowing a different way. So he's probably got all the clean air out there, more so than me. We get a little bit of the Manila pollution here somewhat. Not too much, but a little bit. Richard in Emus, Philippines. Yes, on St. Luke's website, it lists GMMI as an approved insurer. Sinfuls, great to know. Sinfuls puts my my email there, Steven5975@yahoo.com. And Chris G says, thumbs up. Let's see. Let's hit those thumbs up, guys. That actually helps us a little bit. Sinfuls, yes. they are still a great deal for the care and what you get at the clinics. The clinics are modern and clean. And let's see, Lieutenant Nescafe, the Philippine Info Channel. Take care of your diet and health in the Philippines. Easy to fall into the trap of garbage quality food. Not all have the means to buy Landers or SNR quality. Yes, that is true. I try to go to Landers pretty often. I haven't been able to go in the past few months for quite a while, actually. I haven't been there in a while, and I need to get back there soon. And hopefully this year I'll be able to get back there and get some good meat and some good different foods. But you know what I've been making this week, and you guys are gonna laugh, is Kraft macaroni and cheese microwave things, and I throw a little bit of butter in it, and I pour it on. You mix it up with some asparagus. I get fresh asparagus over here, and I mix it all together, and man, that stuff is delicious when you put it with the asparagus. And you just throw a little extra butter and a little bit of milk in with it too, and it throws some pepper in there, and it brings out all the taste of that. I see Mike Dempsey says, if Schwab cancels you, can you get your money out? Yes, you can in most cases, but it's dangerous, because I had one guy that told me his account has $150,000 in it, and they froze the account. And he says he's had to hire a lawyer to try to get that money back. So I don't know what's going on. There might be something funky. That doesn't sound normal. They gave me a warning, basically, and said either you can leave it in the accounts, and but if you try to transfer or something like that, it's not happen. Then you're done. So I was like, wow, I can leave it there, but then they had, the way it was worded was kind of very vague what they were going to do, but it didn't sound like my money was safe there. So I immediately went in and just sold it all and just took it all out and said, forget this. I'm not gonna trust this company if they're saying stuff like this and they're telling me I have to pull my money out if I want to do any transfers or anything like that to another, like if I bought Tesla and I sell it or sell that and then buy something else. Not happening. And they said you had to basically get your money out of there. So it's kind of scary. I tell people, if you're going to come over here and you're going to deal with Schwab or any of these other companies, don't do too much trading from over here. If you're able to leave it in the stocks that you bought, let it sit there. Unless you have somebody back in the U.S. that can do the trading for you, and you dictate to them and tell them what to do. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. Maybe if you can teach one of your kids or a family member or a relative or somebody back home that knows how to do stuff like that also has the accounts, you can tell them, hey, listen, sell my Tesla, I'm going to buy this here. That's the way to do it. Anyway, guys, we're up to almost 90 minutes here. We're at 87:33, and I will probably be on here next week. I know we're coming into the holiday season. There's like a 50-50 chance I might not be on here next Saturday. Okay, so if you don't see me on here, just tune in the week after. We will be on. Okay, so we'll see how that goes, because we have a lot of stuff going on. But I want to thank you guys for all tuning in tonight. I want to thank Rich and also Corinne for coming to visit us over here on this channel. And if you guys get a chance, check out Filipina Unfiltered. Great channel. She checked in earlier, and I just want to say, check out her channel. She has a really, really good channel. It's a lot like my channel, only it's from a Filipina's point of view, a Filipina American, I might add. And she went to the United States when she was really young, and now she's coming back here to retire. So she's like she's like one of us, only she's Filipino. So it's kind of funny, and it's just kind of interesting. And I just want to, tell people, check out her channel, Filipina Unfiltered. If you like my channel, you'll probably like her channel, because it's a very enjoyable channel. She's a older expat that's getting ready to retire, and she's bubbly, she's fun, she's got a lot of good chat and talk on there, and it's just you'll like it, trust me. Razzie Cat says, Steve, I have both Schwab and Robinhood account and do a lot of trading on Robinhood. I'm wondering if you wanted to trade it, if Robinhood is the ticket. I might think about that. Well, I'm looking for a place to do some sort of trading again. There you go. Have a nice day. PayPal will also freeze your account for 180 days and will not give you a reason why they froze your account. They did give me my $1,800 back after 180 days. I've never had a problem with PayPal at all. Never, ever, ever had a problem with PayPal. Most of my stuff travels through them, and I've, it looks like I'm in the U.S. I think when I do stuff on there, maybe I'm not sure, but I use PayPal. Never had any problems with PayPal, I gotta say. But anyway, guys, God bless. Take care, and Merry Christmas, guys, to all you guys. I just want to say that, and thank you for joining us tonight, and thanks to Rich. Bye, guys. Take care.